Welcome to Hutchinson Public Library's 2020 General Election Voter Information Guide. I'm Natasha Russell. I'm a reference assistant here at Hutchinson Public Library, and with us today is a special guest from the Reno County Elections Office. Please introduce yourself and your name and your position there.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jenna Fager. I'm the Deputy Election Officer for Reno County, and we are actually part of the Reno County Clerk's Office.
Okay, all right, good to know. I just want to welcome you and let everybody know that we're going to go through some voter information that should be helpful to our patrons and to residents of Reno County in general. Let's see, real quick, let's start with voter registration. Can you tell us how a person can check their registration status?
Yeah, there are two different websites, and they're kind of similar. One is ksvotes.org, and then you can also go to voteks.org. And either site will tell you where you're registered at, and make sure that your registration is correct. And if you actually go to voteks.org, you can update your registration if it is incorrect.
Okay, that's great. Is there a phone number that a person could call if they don't have access to internet?
Absolutely. You can always contact our office. We're open from 8 to 5. The phone number for that is 620-694-2732.
Okay, great. Now, let's say the person does need to get registered. You mentioned updating registration from one of those websites. Let's talk about the process and the deadline. I can tell you here at HPL, people fill out the paper application form. We do have those available, thank you. We have an arrangement with your office for those forms to be picked up. Of course, we have a number of public computers here as well as Wi-Fi access if a person comes in with their own device. Let's say that they have details that they might have questions about, such as voter ID requirements or such. And then what's the deadline also for the registration?
Okay, so in order to register to vote, yeah, you can always go online to those sites I mentioned before. You can go to voteks.org or ksvotes.org. Another way, you can come to the public library, you can go to the DMV, and you can actually go to any city office in Reno County and get registered that way. They all have voter registration applications. If you would like an application mailed to you, you can contact our office as well, and we do send those out in the mail.
Okay.
For ID requirements, when you register, we don't need any ID for that part. You will need to go show your ID when you go to vote, though.
Okay. Okay. I know on the paper registration form, having looked at that, there's a line where you can put in your driver's license or your state ID card number.
Yes.
So if you do have that, then certainly you just write that in. You don't have to make a copy of it or show it or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you're registering for the first time in Kansas,
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's a listing of ID requirements that would apply. Can you speak about that just a little bit?
If you are a first-time registrant in Kansas, then yes, you can provide any kind of government-issued photo ID, and that'll work. Passport, driver's license, even if it's from another state, that still works.
Okay. And for a first-time registrant, say a young person who, let's just say they don't have a photo ID, birth certificate, does that?
Birth certificate would suffice as well. Yes.
Okay. So I know that these forms do have lists of acceptable ID and so forth, but just kind of wanted to cover that a little bit. Let's see, what's the deadline? Did we get that part?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, the deadline to register is going to be October 13th.
Okay. So as long as the registration, let's say you're mailing it in, it's got to be postmarked by the 13th. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. But you have arrangements to pick up paper forms from all those offices that you mentioned, including the library here.
Correct.
Let's say a person comes directly into the county annex to take in their registration. It's just got to be turned in by that day.
Right.
Or on that day even.
Right.
Okay.
If you were to go to the online site as well and do it online, as long as it's in our email inbox by midnight, we'll still accept it.
Great. Okay. lots of options to vote, folks. Let's get it done. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jenna.
All right, thank you.
All right.